My name is Tom and I'm an alcoholic. In an effort to improve outreach to members in the armed services who may be struggling with an alcohol problem, we're collecting interviews from current AA members serving in the US and Canadian Armed Forces to share the experience and strength and hope they have found in Alcoholics Anonymous.
My name is Valerie. I'm an alcoholic. I'm also a member of the Royal Canadian Air Force. I'm an avionics technician, which is a portmanteau of aviation and electronics. So I fix the electronics on aircraft. I've been in my trade for 14 years now, and I am a corporal. My relationship with alcohol started when I was 12. That's when I had my first drink. It didn't start becoming a problem for me until it was mixed with postpartum depression when I was 29. I found sobriety pretty soon thereafter, thanks to the wing addictions counselor at the base that I'm at. And I've been sober for 7.5 years. When I was 13 or 14, I got drunk enough that I threw up, and that didn't interest me anymore. So I didn't drink for another several years. Didn't really start drinking again until after I joined the military, where every weekend was a party and every party had copious amounts of alcohol in it. As a young adult in the training system, getting drunk caused me to be in situations where I was taken advantage of by some of the other students. And that caused me not to want to be drunk around other military people for a while. My drinking kind of went from 0, because I was breastfeeding, to 100. By the time I realized I had a problem and had to stop, I was drinking about a 40 of liquor a day. My chain of command noticed, my sergeant noticed, and he pulled me aside and he gave me a recorded warning. Despite being drunk every day at work at this point, I was well aware of the fact that I was being watched, and I was pretty sure it was because I was drunk at work. So when I got pulled into the sergeant's office, I knew what it was going to be about. And I walked into that sergeant's office ready for a fight, ready for him to start yelling at me, ready to start yelling right back at him, ready for this to become something really out of hand. And my sergeant pulled me into the office and he said, "The Valerie that left on parental leave was not the Valerie that we got back. And I'd like to do everything in my power to get that Valerie back." That was not the response I was looking for. I actually broke down crying because it was someone who actually was showing that they cared about me. During that meeting, I received what's called a recorded warning, which is one of the official military reprimands available. And I absolutely accepted that and went through my year of, I guess you could say, probation with the recorded warning. But the entire time, that sergeant was checking in on me and making sure that I was doing well. There's an AA group whose home group is inside the place where I did my treatment. So, and they met twice a week. So twice a week, there was an AA meeting inside my building that had both people who were receiving treatment as well as people from the community. So we had exposure to AA through that. We were also encouraged to pursue AA or equivalent meetings at least 3 times a week in the town. While I was at the treatment center, I made really close contacts, close friends with some Aboriginal people, some Indigenous people who were also pursuing sobriety. And they told me about some Indigenous traditions in their AA meetings. And I found them really inspiring. So I immediately went to another meeting that was actually on an Indigenous reservation. And I noticed that there was a lot of community in this meeting. It was just wonderfully supportive, and and really great. And as I had become rather suddenly a single parent, and had to bring my baby with me, they were very supportive of me through that as well. I pretty much ran to AA the day I finished treatment. I finished treatment on a Friday and drove home and went to a meeting that night in my home community. I find in general, people are very accepting of those who are in AA nowadays. When I tell people I'm in AA, usually the response I get is one of two. Oh my goodness, you're so brave. I couldn't stop drinking. Or how is that working for you? Do you know any good meetings in the area? I've never really had a negative impression from anyone when I told them that I was a member of AA. So I struggled with postpartum depression with my first baby. I've struggled with PTSD as a result of some of the things that have happened to me in the military. And I struggled with postpartum depression when I had my second baby 2 years ago. Having AA while struggling with PPD with my second child was easier. I don't know how else to put it. I had support structures for when I was struggling. I could call my sponsor and tell her I was having a shitty day and I wanted to talk it out. I wanted to go for coffee and talk it out. I could tell her just about anything. I could go to a meeting and listen to everyone else's experience, strength, and hope. And that helped me a lot through postpartum depression, the second. And I think it did actually really help me with that. I've been struggling with PTSD. I was diagnosed in 2017, so when I was about 2 years sober. And honestly, a lot of the military people in AA can relate to being a military person in sobriety with PTSD. So it's almost like there's a micro community there for us. I've had occasions to go on a mobile repair party where we get shipped to random parts of the country for a week or two to work on a downed aircraft or help another unit install a new upgrade or something like that. And every time we've done that, I've always turned to the nice little app that they've recently put in called Meeting Guide. I've thrown that open, found the nearby meetings, and it's a little bit like AA tourism. And I've enjoyed the fresh outlook of a new meeting whenever I go to new places. If you go to treatment and you come back as a sober person, they're probably going to notice the positive change and be happy for that and not care too much about the details about that. So I would strongly encourage you to go ahead, talk to your wing addictions counselor, talk to your base addictions counselor, seek help, find meetings, do whatever it is that you can do to find the supports to get you through this.
That's excellent, Valerie. Thank you very much. And if you're having trouble and think alcohol might be part of the problem, I hope you can find a way to check us out as a possible solution.
The views and opinions expressed during this podcast are those of the individuals. No one person speaks for AA as a whole. For more information about AA, please visit our website at aa.org. To find a meeting near you or a meeting online, download the Meeting Guide app on your mobile device.